For the final time in 2024, we go racing for the ChampCar iRacing Series, our second visit to Sebring International Raceway, and our fourth time rolling out in the Toyota GR86 race car. Take a look at some of the weather around the place. It's the final championship race of the year. The championship has already been taken, but it's also the final opportunity for drivers to put their name in the hat to win a ChampCar prize. We've given away many of them this season, and there's just two more to give. To bring you live coverage of all of tonight's racing, a 1-hour race from Sebring International Raceway, we're here with HJBC. I'm David Haynes with Devin Peters and Michael Derby. Well, Devin, it's been a big year. We've had a lot of exciting new names. We've got a new champion, and we've got a great turnout for the final race of the year to send us off.
Yeah, it's wonderful to have all these drivers out supporting us, and we're going to have a great big field under some dreary December weather here in Florida. It just makes sense that it'd be overcast and miserable, and we'll see if there's any water coming our way. But it should be a good round, and these GR86s, they always put on a good show. They're like a little bit like the MX-5s, but a little bit more modern, a little bit more traction control, and they always put on a good show when the guys get together and racing.
So with a big grid, we have qualifying just ticking down in its final minutes now before the 1 hour of racing, 28 Toyota GR86s. And it's Kyle Robertson, I want to say local boy Kyle Robertson, up top at the moment in qualifying.
Yeah, he put in that lap, and then I think I heard him calling to shut down the session. Session's unsafe. We got to end it right now. Not sure if he's feeling super confident that one will hold on to the top, but it's a pretty quick lap, and he's going to push the other guys around to try and match that.
So there's a few others left that could take pole position away in these final minutes. Yeah, a little bit of haze and overcast around, all the car headlights on, and a bit of breeze around as well to make things challenging. You're looking at second, Jared Collins. He's just 13 hundredths of a second short of that pole position at the moment. He navigates Sunset Bend, one of the bumpiest places around the track that is already known for being very, very bumpy. Respect the bumps is what they say. An immense amount of this racetrack is very, very old concrete. It's shifted, it's been worn, it's been raced on over the years, and that lap time there for Jared Collins is no improvement. So he's got, at best, two more opportunities, perhaps only one more here as he navigates turn one. I'm not seeing a whole heap of other drivers looking like they might pop up and challenge for the pole position yet either.
Yeah, and he's just a few car lengths ahead of Ian Giebler, who himself is just a few car lengths ahead of Kyle Robertson. So Kyle's going to have front row seats to see if Jared Collins or Ian Giebler is putting on a lap, and he's also going to have a little bit of draft to help him out. So he's really in the good position here, and we'll see if either of them are able to make a difference. It's a good little qualifying session we're getting here, though, and behind them, I got to say that the battle is looking pretty hot. That's going to be the end of the qualifying, though, for Ian Giebler. He had a bit of a mess going into turn number 3, and I think that was the end of that one. We'll see, though, if Kyle Robertson's able to extend the lead, or if Jared's going to be able to do anything with it.
Ian Giebler's on a good end to the year. Winner last time out at VIR North in round 11 of the ChampCar iRacing Series. Now it looks like he might have third position on the grid for the final race here at Sebring. Yeah, a little bit of practice going on here. Nick Love around the outside of Cunningham Bend. Drop in behind Sean Roberts, who's 18th at the moment, but flying.
Yeah, he's put in a few quick sectors all in a row there. Dan Ball's got a couple quick ones going too elsewhere on the field.
It's a Fast and the Furious paint, I think.
Yeah, looks right. Looks like that classic Eclipse.
There we go. He drops down to 19th as well, so there's a bit of other improvement happening around the place. I think we just had Ray Lombardi go to 17th, Orlando Herald 18th. You see a lot of those cars are done.
So say Lombardi, known for his MX-5 skills, he's dipping the toes in the GT 8.6 today. Kyle Robertson aborts the lap, not going to make an improvement.
The first generation was called GT86 in Canada, but in Australia it was just called the 86. I don't know why, but we're about to have the end of qualifying because the checkered flag is waving. Everyone's just finishing their laps. If they're up, they're hoping that they can make some late improvement. Otherwise, qualifying's done for majority of the field. Logan Senhauser there. Doesn't look like he managed to make any movement. A few other cars in the background coming across the line too.
Lincoln Fox just crossed the line. He's the one turning into turn number 1 there. Went from 28th to, I think, 8th place. So that was a good lap for him.
And then Mark
had a similar improvement.
Yeah, came into 8th and bumped Fox to 9th.
A couple little gainers there at the end. Brian Tidd coming to the line. Andre Jameson's just crossed it. Looks like the two of them are going to be battling over 23rd and 24th place. And I think Orlando Harrell might be our final driver setting the lap. He's coming into the Sunset Bend here and bouncing over every single one of those curbs or those bumps. Showing how tricky it is out there. That one's not going to be an improvement for him.
So we're just about nearly done, and it's going to be an hour of racing with a required pit stop somewhere in the middle. This is a high average speed, high slipstreaming circuit, a car that does a little bit of slipstreaming as well. It's these places like on the front straight, like on the Ullman Straight back behind the paddock, the flat out run from turn 5 through Big Bend turn 6 to the biggest braking zone of the lap at turn 7. Places like those are where you can sit 5 tenths behind another driver and just sit there. And we'll see what that gives us in racing conditions once this qualifying's done.
Yeah, it's always a good time here around Sebring. Plenty of action, plenty of excitement, and not just from the racing against the other cars. As the track's gonna come into play and get these guys going. There's little mistakes available, and these things aren't like the prototypes that whine about the bumps. They like to throw themselves all over them.
Logan Senhauser practicing his pit entry. Now, the Mazda livery on the Toyota feels a little wrong, but it feels a little right. So what can you say?
I don't feel any worse about that one than I do about the Eclipse livery. So,
well, birds aren't real. There's a lot going on whenever we race the Toyota GR86, one of several models of car that we've raced across this season of the ChampCar iRacing series.
Yeah, you mentioned it. We've got the Ryobi Nation. Oh man, it's going to be a good grid out there today. And gridding up they are, Haynes.
Yeah, exactly. That's a full stop on qualifying. Take a look at that weather. The wind is blowing the stars and stripes. It's blowing the sponsored flags over the bridge at the final corner as well. So that gives you an idea the direction it's coming from. Oh, it's even blowing the palm trees. Those palm trees have probably been through a lot, given this is Florida. You never know what might make landfall. But this is the qualifying grid. So for the final time, 2024, Kyle Robertson's on pole position. He shares the front row with Jared Collins there. Ian Giebler and Tim Wire, good teammates, good friends. They've got row 2 locked out. And then Andy Kosick and Nick Love, 5th and 6th. There's Bill Woods in 7th with Mark Kruger in 8th. Lincoln Fox and Colin Lounsbury are the top 10 on the grid. Row 6 has Ryan Carwile and Tim Trahan. And there's Kyle Lockrow and I think his friend TJ Yankee, or is TJ Yankee with the Drive Trainer Motorsports guys? We've had a few people very eager to race Sebring that we haven't seen a whole lot of this season, but here they are on the grid. Cameron Senhauser 15th, Donald McLaughlin in 16th. There's Logan Senhauser and Ray Lombardi, Orlando Herald and Sean Roberts 20th. And then 27 drivers with qualifying times. In 21st, Dan Ball, Simon Foweather, 22nd. Then Brian Tidd, Andre Jameson, Michael Thorne, Scott Grinnell, John Nicholford. Dennis Nickel, no qualifying time.
Yeah, it's big grid, and this GT86 always gives us that big grid, and with a big grid comes a lot of close racing, so it doesn't really matter where you started. If you go all the way from the back of the field to the front, you got someone within just a few tenths of you in terms of best lap overall, and it looks like we're going to have a pretty sizable pack at the front that'll all be able to run together, assuming they make it through the treacherous first few corners all together.
So it's been the iRacing sedan pace car all season long, but the most recent iRacing build bringing more cars, more tracks, more functionality. Maybe we'll have a BMW M2 pace car next year. Maybe we'll race the BMW M2 next year. Nothing locked in for the ChampCar iRacing Series in 2025, but always new things. Rain was new this year. Many leaps forward every year.
Yeah, that's the best part of the iRacing simulator. You can always anticipate new content, new features getting added, and a little bit more refinement to help make those hours you spend not behind the wheel of a real race car into more productive and interesting hours that'll make you better behind the wheel of that real car. And of course, it's really what gave birth to this series, just the idea that the little sim racer who could deserves their shot at the big leagues of ChampCar and deserves the ability to turn that dream into reality. So just like ChampCar makes racing affordable, iRacing makes racing affordable, and it's a real pleasure to be able to see all these drivers coming out and spreading their wings, having some fun, and getting the shot at some real prize money towards real racing.
So with a big prize going to the championship winner, Cameron Martineau is not present today, but with 5 or 6 race wins across the year, I think it was 5, he is in the Super Bowl as champion and will become champ. Ian Giebler there in 2nd, racing today. Jared Collins in 3rd, racing. Joshua Soto in 4th. And then Tim Wire could even jump into the top 3 with a good result today. Then you've got Andy Kosick, Colin Lounsbury, Logan Senhauser, Orlando Herald, Nick Love as our top 10. Herald and Love might be tied. And then Kyle Robertson, Paul Darling took a couple of wins early in the season. John Nicholford, Steve Hermetz, Brian Tidd, Mark Kruger, Alex Albert, Aaron Reed, Christian Peeler, and Bowie Sewan. Joshua Soto also took a couple of wins this year.
Yep. Wins matter. Consistency matters too. With 3 drop weeks on the season, you got to make sure that you're showing up every week. And of course, there's always the other prize, the Best Be Here prize, the door prize for showing up. And we'll have a few drivers that are going to make themselves eligible for that $200 Champ Buck prize just by showing up today and racing. And you too could do that if you join us next season, assuming there's a next season. And we'll see if you are the next winner of some Champ Bucks and some real racing credit.
Fielder on the Ullman Straight right now. There's the cones to set your braking marker heading into Sunset Bend. Well, I can't see the sunset so clearly through all of this. Bit of moisture in the air. Palm tree being jostled around, but we're not expecting any rain. It was possible, but the radar's not showing any. This is the front row of the grid now. Kyle Robertson and Jared Collins. The pace car is in. The green flag will wave shortly, like right now, and we head down towards turn 1. Kyle Robertson doing well. Tim Wire trying to push Jared Collins along in that next row as we're 2 wide, 3 wide, more heading into turn 1. That looks like Lincoln Fox looking all the way down the inside there, needing to drop back in behind for us to safely navigate turn 1.
Oh, and they're trying 4 into 3 into 2 and 1 in the back there, but they've all gotten away clear.
Please do not talk too soon as we have a bit of a crunch moment. Heading in towards turn 3, slow up with a change of direction. Cold tyres for all, bouncing across the curbs can be a challenge here. A little bit of off camber through 5, and then we're flat out underneath the new bridge towards the turn 7 hotel hairpin. Jared Collins has gotten in front of Kyle Robertson. Tim Wire still in 3rd, Nick Love in 4th, and the moves are all on behind that.
Yeah, traffic is tight in the first lap, and they're all making their way through the hairpin, and there's a little more beating and banging than anyone hopes, but it's staying clean, staying green.
Nick Love started 6th. Nick Love runs 4th now. So he's just in behind Tim Wire at the moment. And he's back.
Yeah, Nick Love getting a good start there in the top 10. He's our big winner through the first few corners. Hard to make overtakes here sometimes, so got to make sure you get him early when the getting's good. 58 minutes on the clock today, expecting to have 1 pit stop. So when the opportunity presents for those overtakes on tracks, got to get them done, and they're getting them done in the back of the field. We got 1 car running wide. Who's that, Haynes?
Kruger's off the track just before Lamar corner, so there's a slowdown penalty for doing that as well. He's only just managed to clear onto the Ullman straight, and so he's wide. He's wrong side of the curb, and once you're wrong side of the curb, it's tough to get back on them the way that they're serrated, so you don't want to cut across from the outside to the inside if you end up out there, and he's gotten going again. Jared Collins and Kyle Robertson, good start for them. As Tim Wire gets into 3rd place, there's a bit of a gap between 1st and 2nd, and the rest now being led by Tim Wire down the pit straight with 1 lap completed. Ian Giebler back into 4th. Nick Love back into 6th, so a bit happening in this group there as well on the Ullman Straight, heading towards Sunset Bend. Ooh. What's the drift like for Nick Love?
That was a fun line through there. I don't know if it was a fast one, but boy, oh boy, did that wake him up.
And then this next group as well with Lincoln Fox in 8th. I think that's Ryan Carwile just in front of Colin Lounsbury. So purple and orange, if that's how it looks like to you. It's Ryan Carwile, TJ Yankee, Kyle Lockrow, Ray Lombardi in this group as well here. Absolutely flat out in just about any race car through turn 6. Track straightens out and you're staring at your braking zone for the tight turn 7 hairpin.
They're keeping it 2 wide. Kyle Lockrow holds that inside line, gets a good run on the exit, and he's doing well. And they're passing Nick Love on the inside there. Nick Love has had a bit of a drama. We'll have to see what that one was, but I have a feeling I know how that one looks. Sure enough, he turns in
a bit.
He turns in, and he gets it up on 2 wheels. Yeah, easy to do.
He does, in fact, get the hop.
Yeah,
puts him in the middle of that next group of cars. This is leader Jared Collins, Kyle Robertson in 2nd. Talked about that slipstream earlier, so they're at about 6/10 now. Robertson won't want to let that get too much further away. Tim Wire also beginning to close in if he can.
Interesting to see Collins getting the breakaway here in this early phase of the race. Surprised, given the qualifying pace, that he's just found that little bit extra. big difference in lines on the entry. So they tend to converge around the apex, around Sunset Bend.
I've made some passes around the outside at Sunset Bend. You get some rather timid drivers parked right at the inside, and if you respect the bumps, you can get around the outside there with all of the pavement available, and then it narrows a little bit onto the front straight. This is the challenge that turn 1 presents. So the wheel's moving a little bit for Ian Giebler. Saw Nick Love slide through there earlier. Doesn't seem to take too much steering angle to convince these cars to turn in. It seems to take a bit to convince them not to swap ends. Oh, it takes a lot to convince them not to swap ends through turn 5, as Ian Giebler has a massive slide and the rest of them have to avoid him.
That's tough for Ian Giebler. He was having a good start to the race, running in 3rd place, loses 3 spots there, and that's gonna take him out of contact with the top 2. He's gonna have to push his way back up to the front. So winner last race, having an early struggle here, but there's still lots of time to go. Meanwhile, behind them, things are getting a little spicy. I think I just saw Tim Tran go flying out into the grass. Sure enough, there he is.
Too deep at turn 7. Yes, that looks like a case of breaking 1 set of cones too late.
Yeah, lots of action ahead of you. Easy to lose track when you're focusing on the wrong thing, and that's what we saw there.
Donald McLaughlin in the most festive Toyota GR86 also gets a bit of the hop.
Yeah, just saw Tim Wire have a bit of a moment there. I think we're seeing the aftermath. Tim Wire gets it wrong, bounces it off the wall. Let's see it here. I guess he doesn't quite hit the wall, but swaps ends anyway, and when he tries to rejoin, it all goes wrong. He ends up in the pit lane without a wheel.
And now suddenly there's 5 seconds between the leaders and the rest. These are your 2 form-looking cars. They get so much airtime on the inside tyres with that tight line through Sunset Bend. It's all about your minimum speed. A car like this got quite a lot of cornering grip. Toyota GR86, they're on slick racing tyres. You see the size of wing they've got on, as well as the splitters and the other stuff. So they do make quite a bit of lateral grip. What they don't make is an insane amount of horsepower. So the way you do have to drive them is about keeping the minimum speed high. Some other higher horsepower, lower grip cars are all about straightening the car up and getting to throttle early on the corner exits. This is a lot about how late you can brake and still carry speed through the corners, because you've got all that cornering grip, but still a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder motor.
A really modern car too, with the paddle shifters, despite the momentum sort of aspects of it. Paddle shifters, got that traction control that keeps you honest. You can't muscle these cars around. Gotta finesse them around. Traction control will just steal all your momentum if you let it get sliding. Seeing a little battle for 6th place starting to develop between Colin Lounsbury and that's the Virginia Tech car of Ryan Carwell behind. Carwell has a little bit of that dreaded bounce, so he's turning into that right-hander before tower turn. So he gets a little bit of a gap now up to the Ryobi themed car of Colin Lounsbury.
Orlando Herald just behind Logan Sennhauser, Tim Trahan, and then Nick Love, who started 6th on the grid's now down to 18th. And Simon Foweather goes ahead of Sean Roberts. So that's Fast and Furious versus Birds Aren't Real.
That's really the battle for the decade,
Yeah, the 2000s, 2010s versus the 2020s, perhaps, in that case. Slipstreaming down the back straight, and Kyle Robertson in second place as a new fastest lap of the race. And here's a move to have a look down the inside. Logan Senhauser gets ahead, pushes a bit wide. They all have a slide. This is what I'm talking about. Straight round the outside for Tim Trahan. Doesn't look bad at all. Orlando Herald's also alongside him now, as Nick Love decides he wants none of that. He's going to have an early pit stop.
Well, that is an option around here. This car is reputed as having a gigantic fuel tank, so maybe getting out of the traffic is the way to go. We'll have to see how that pays out for Nick Love.
Yeah, they've got like a 20-something gallon fuel cell for reasons that no one quite understands, other than they must have been easy to get in bulk when Toyota was designing this race car.
I mean, I'd like to think that they were thinking of us in about 15 years when, we need to make some champ cars on the cheap, and these things are floating around. They'll just have the fuel cell right there.
Trying to think how a actually purpose-built race car would get classed now. Don't need to end. There's the hop from Kyle Robertson. He was hot a lap ago. He was hop this lap. Yeah, you'd have to take quite a bit of stuff back off of these to bring them closer to the road spec to be able to champ car class them.
Are these ones that you buy off the dealership floor? Maybe they're just a special model,
Yes,
I think we know how
there's
that
a lot.
handles.
Radiators, engine management, the fuel cell, none of the suspension or anything like that is road car. So, I mean, you're an optimist, and I'm trying to lead your balloon.
Speaking of lead and balloons, that must be what's attached to Robertson. He's going to have to do a lot of work after that little hop to make some ground up. And we're watching a closer battle here. This is a battle for third and fourth. Andy Cossack is chasing Bill Woods. Bill Woods now one of the big gainers in the top 10. He's up 4 spots since the start, and put a little gap on Andy Cossack. That minty car. Gonna try and chase him down. Two Club Ohio guys just out here driving in Florida. Meanwhile, the front straight's getting busy as the pack comes by again. So that looks like Raylan Barr. Through turn 1 and into turn 2 and 3 here. Senhauser holds the line a little bit tighter than Ray does. Ray makes it work. I think he actually rolled a little bit more speed. The apex is a little tricky around that corner, Hayes. We got a replay here. What's this?
This is having just made a pit stop, Nick Love. That's why I said you don't want to come back that other side of the curb. That's why we saw Mark Kruger just cut the whole corner rather than get your tyres on the inside of the serrated curb. There's nothing fishy going on with that. It's you hooked your inside tyres on like a gutter there on the inside of the curbs.
Got to keep
the turn 7 stuff is fishy, but that's not.
Yeah, got to keep the reins off the track, and that's a treacherous curb at the best of times.
It's Kyle Lockrow into 9th, just ahead of Ian Giebler, who got some grass on the way into Cunningham corner by the looks of things.
Did a good job steering out of it. But that's going to cost him again. And like I said, this is perhaps not known as a track or high on the list if you were thinking of tracks that are competing against you in the race, like the Nordschleife or something like that. But it's definitely one that'll bite you.
So just a few cars that have stopped at this point. Nick Love, John Nickleford, Michael Thorne, and Tim Wire. I expect a little bit closer to halfway. We're going to look at Dan Ball.
Nope, looks like that was a false alarm, Haynes. We've got Logan Senhauser sitting on the pit lane. That might have been a scheduled stop. Still pretty early in the race. But like we said, they're carrying around a fuel barrel in the back of this thing.
$10,000 barrels of crude. Biggest movers in the race: Simon Foweather, Scott Grinnell, Dennis Nickel, Ray Lombardi, Sean Roberts, a few like that. So that'll happen with a big grid. This is Ryan Carwile right in behind Colin Lounsbury. Lincoln Fox the next behind. Carwile was about half a second quicker on the last lap. And it really shows this gap between them and Carwile just all over at the moment.
Yeah, getting some pressure from behind here. Carwile gets a little better from the left-hander, but not quite as set up. You can see everyone pushing it to the limit too. Gets a little better run, does Ryan. Looks like he's going to opt for the push. Two of them trying to drive away from Lincoln Fox. That is 3 cars. It doesn't look like it.
Always a difference of lines in Sunset Bends, and it looks like Ryan Carwile's is pretty good. So he found some grip on a tight line there, and they're side by side across the start-finish line, but it puts Carwile to the outside of turn 1, with Colin Lounsbury still having the inside on a rather tight line. So around the outside, 2 corners in a row, gets Ryan Carwile to 5th place.
That's a guy with a university education. He knows you can take the wider line. You can carry a little more speed.
Actually, if the distance is 1% greater, but the minimum radius is 10% wider, then the speed that you carry will account for the slightly extra distance traveled, and you'll arrive quicker at turn 3.
Is that the preview from his thesis? Battle for 5th place is hotting up here, but those wondering, Jared Collins still holding on to the lead, 4 seconds over Kyle Robertson in 2nd, Bill Woods in 3rd, 8 seconds back, and Andy Cossack 10 seconds off the lead. So the front end of the field is spreading out, while the back end is still tight from 5th all the way through 13th.
Oh, and Ryan Carwile runs wide from 5th at Cunningham Corner, straight across the grass in front of Colin Lounsbury and Lincoln Fox. Stays there on the way to Tower Turn. So Lounsbury goes back to 5th, Lincoln Fox goes through to 6th, and Ryan Carwile is now back in 7th.
Must be a geology degree. He's going to get samples. Nose to tail through the long curve there.
It's indeed from Kyle Lockrow to Ing Giebler recovering. Remember, he was off track and then came back to 10th. Now he's 9th, ahead of Mark Kruger. And then Ray Lombardi is orange. Sean Roberts is orange. Cameron Senhauser just behind them. That's Kruger with a massive slide and a snap in Sunset Bend.
Oh, 5 cars go under or 6 cars go under the bridge and only 5 cars exit. It's a rough one.
And he tries and tries to save it. And then it's not happening, and then he gives it just a little bit more, and it grips the wrong way.
Back up at the front there, that's Ryan Carwell up the inside of Colin Lounsbury right now. And Lounsbury's going to let Carwell go by into the hairpin.
Seems like that's what he did a couple of laps ago, but then Carwell went and too deep and drove it off the road and ended up back behind him again. So Lincoln Fox, I think you can call the big winner here, who now runs in the 5th place.
Lounsbury's got a few years on simulator, so he's a guy who's seen a thing or two, and I think he's seeing that Ryan's maybe got a little bit more pace than him right now.
Another spot for Ian Giebler. He's 8th ahead of Kyle Lockrow, so it's going okay for Giebler, except for that one incident that cost him 20 seconds or so. But he's gone from 10th then to 8th now, ahead of Lockrow. Ray Lombardi's been gaining a few spots throughout this race as well, and now closer to Lockrow than ever. Really taking a line through this sequence of corners to try to set up the exit from Lamar Corner, speed onto the Ullman Straight, but in total it's cost him a car length or two to Lockrow.
And we're seeing him driving through the thick, soupy air out there. It's an ugly, ugly day out on track.
Would you like to know the millipascals?
Well, you could tell me. I could tell you the inches.
Actually, iRacing seems to want to read it to me as 101 kilopascals.
And that's even less helpful than the millipascals. 30 inches rising though on the humidity front over here. And it says the track is dry, but you think it'd be a little dewy with that kind of situation going on. Splitting up now a little bit, 2x2. Kyle Lockrow and Kyle Lockrow and Ian Giebler at the front. Ray Lombardi and Sean Roberts trying to stick up with them. I'm wondering, Ray and Sean have had a good start to the race, both up 8 and 9 spots respectively, but we'll see if they've got the pace to hang with Giebler. He's really pushing it at the front. They're starting to drop some of the guys that were with him earlier. Cameron Sendenhauser notably, Simon Fullweather behind, just falling off the pace, not quite having enough to stick up with it.
Ian Giebler's approaching his personal best territory. Colin Lounsbury's in his personal best. This is just behind Carwile and Fox. So Lounsbury qualified well. Got a best race lap of 2:27. There's a few drivers a little quicker than that in 2:25s, 2:26s.
Lounsbury is just having a front row seat to the battle between Carwell and Fox. As we turn the camera back towards that 8th place battle.
It is getting soupier. It's getting a little soupier out there.
Yeah, thicker and thicker. Sean Roberts leading the pack of 3 into Sunset this time. He takes the inside. Ray goes wide. He's trying that outside line, see if he can make it work. Cameron Sendenhauser, they're going to cross on the exit, and it's tight, but they make it work. Good thing they paved that patch on the outside now. Otherwise, we would have seen a couple cars launching through the grass there. Sennhauser makes move up the inside, but has to get on the brakes early. I think Ray is going to hold it. Not by much, though. Not by much. Sennhauser wants this spot. In the background.
Now Lockrow ahead of Giebler as well. All happening here. Too much happening. Cameron Sennhauser sideways. It was him that needed rescuing.
Yeah, I was going to say, he says support your local rescue. But he needs some help himself.
Now a 5.5 second lead for Jared Collins. Ahead of Kyle Robertson in second, Bill Woods in third. Brian Tidd pits from 15th place or so. We're starting to get a few more, approaching the halfway point of this 1 hour race with 34 minutes to go.
Brian Tidd taking what appears to be a scheduled stop, getting 4 tires there. We rejoin the battle with Ryan Carwile, though.
There's plenty of space on the pit lane here with 62 pit stalls. Everyone gets their own.
Got to have one for each of the famous winners out there.
Oh, Giebler's off again.
Ooh. This
is live. So he might have done a little bit. What's happened there? Exeter Tower corner. He's sliding. He's got the dirt. And that's where he's gone around. It all starts at Tower.
Just struggling with the consistency today. It's a car that asks you to put everything on the line, and Giebler's just been on the wrong side of it fractionally a few times today.
Here's Ryan Carwile behind Lincoln Fox in towards turn 5. Fox with a little bit of movement on the way in, a bit wide on the exit. I think tight on exit's been the place to be at Sunset Bend for these cars. Trying a bit of lap down traffic. No worries on the front straight. So Lincoln Fox is being pushed a little by Ryan Carwile. Kyle Lockrow will pit from 10th place, just behind. So he was with Ian Giebler when Giebler spun and is now making a pit stop.
Yeah, it looks like he's deciding to lock in the advantage at this point. Got Andrew Kosick off in the grass there as we drive by. Not sure what's gone wrong for him. He was 4th place at the line. Turns in left-hander before they go into the bridge, and how's it go? Oh, just cranked right all of a sudden. To the left, rather. I'm not sure what that was.
Well, he got too much apex curb, and then it kept bouncing, which has been a problem with these cars forever. They've got very wallowy, soft springs, and the damping doesn't quite match them either. What did I look? The softest springs you could put in this car was like
400 pounds, 325.
Less, way less.
Oh, 150. Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
150 inch pounds. That's a soft spring. Yeah, I had heard a story to the effect that Toyota made some pretty interesting claims about the types of spring rates that these cars run in competition. I think in practice they're not quite so sloppy. But either way, it's catching people out today. Lincoln Fox now leading Carwile, Colin Lounsbury, as we've seen a few times.
Similar story to turn 1. Fox and Carwile might see that they can catch a couple cars up front. quicker than Kyle Robertson last lap, but not quicker than Bill Woods in third position.
Ooh, and they're getting pressure on the exit this time. Carlisle's just all over that bumper. He really wants the spot from Lincoln. He might have a shot at it this time down into the hairpin. He's peeking. Doesn't go for it though. Just trying to stay in the near. Lincoln Fox runs it a little wide on exit. Has to compromise getting to the throttle. Carlisle's going to have a run this time, if he wants it. Question is, does he? Does he just want to push?
And there's many others pitting, because we've had Andy Kosick, we've had Donald McLaughlin, a few others. So most drivers have been through pit lane now. You've just got about 10 left that haven't. Includes these drivers. So your race leader, Jared Collins, Kyle Robertson and Bill Woods is the podium at the moment. And then 4th, 5th, 6th on your screen right now with Lincoln Fox and Ryan Carwile. Inseparable buddies the last few laps, you would say.
Yeah, I think they're having a real good time. It's fun when you find a partner to draft with and bump draft with. Then I think they're enjoying themselves thoroughly out here today. Ooh, and they pass a car wrong way on the inside there. That's Mike Thorne, Canadian driver, exploring Florida for the first time, I'd say.
Collins is pitting from the lead as well. Here's how Michael Thorne ended up there.
Just a little bit of the curve, a little bit of the inside wall, unfortunately for him.
Yeah. You've also had Bill Woods pit, so that's 1st and 3rd on pit lane. Kyle Robertson stayed out, so he goes through into the race lead, at least 1 lap longer than these others. We're going in and seeing quite a bit of jacks going on there as well. Lincoln Fox and Ryan Carwile carry on, but Colin Lounsbury pits. Simon Foweather pits. Ryan Carwile is sick of following Lincoln Fox.
Yeah, looks like he's taken that spot in the 1 second where we took our cameras away. Made the move through turn number 1. And carries it through. And with the pit stops coming up right away, now's the time to take that spot and try and hold on to the advantage into the pit lane, I'd say.
Big lift and coast from Lincoln Fox, who had been leading the way for the most part of this stint. So had Orlando Herald stay out, but that's just about it. Sean Roberts, Ray Lombardi. We'll start to get a sense of where everyone's at after these stops filter through. Starting to see a few battles come together deeper in the field. We'll check on those in a little bit. Here's one of them. This is Cameron Sendenhauser and Simon Foweather. They're just on the edge of the top 10 right now. I think running a little deeper once the pit stop cycle. Carwile still holding off. Getting a little pressure from Lincoln Fox, this time through Le Mans. Coming on the back straight, Fox puts the 2 tires wide, gets a little bit better of a run. He's got a draft, he's going to look up the inside, and we'll see. Inside's the place to be, with the pit entry as well being on the right-hand side. A sunset bend up here. And Kyle Robertson also pits, so we got almost everyone last time. We're probably going to get everyone this time. Fox runs wide through Sunset Bend. And there's Ryan Carwile just in front again.
Yeah, Carwile does the a little over or under. You'll see it here. Lincoln Fox, he gets in deep, locks it up over the bumps. And, man, that was like that Forza intro from Forza 4. Gets it locked up, slides a little wide, and Carwile takes advantage. We'll see which one gets a better stop. Kyle Robertson pulling away at the foreground. Going to come out of
Also
pits in
a
second place.
stupidly tall first gear in these cars that aren't super torquey, super high horsepower like some others where you get away with it more easily. So you see a few of them struggling to get out of the pit stall from the standing start because you can do 70 miles an hour in first gear or something.
Kyle Robertson's feeling some traffic right now as we watch the mid-pack, middle of the top 10. This is Robertson now trying to make his way past John Nicholford. Has all kinds of traffic around him. Jared Collins, meanwhile, the leader, just free and clear, not a car in sight. Robertson gets past.
So an even bigger race lead now for Jared Collins than what it was at 9.4 seconds ahead of Kyle Robertson. It's only just ahead of Bill Woods now. So Woods has gotten a bit closer to Robertson after that. And Ryan Carwile is solidly ahead of Lincoln Fox as well. Oh, and that's going to be an even bigger lead now for Ryan Carwile. Lincoln Fox runs a bit wide and is just ahead of Colin Lounsbury again, like they were before the pit stops. It's worked out well for Lounsbury, sort of hitting the element at the right time. Did get a 2:25 lap in earlier, so really picking up pace as it's gone on.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe that was a good run there from Lincoln Fox, so Lincoln might have the pace to close this back down. Certainly able to put pressure on right away.
Another bit of a drift through Sunset Bend for Lincoln Fox. That's what happened on the in-lap. It's happened a little bit again that time around.
Yeah, clean lines. Colin Lounsbury still hanging on to the back of this battle. We'll see if Lounsbury has something now that they're in the second half.
Increasing darkness at Sebring. Not that you'd notice, it started very overcast and foggy. Now it's dark and overcast and foggy. And with pit stops done for everyone, the biggest gainers are Sean Roberts and Simon Foweather. So 13 gained for Sean Roberts, 12 gained for Simon Foweather into the top 10. And he is, as we noted earlier, just behind Cameron Senhauser, 9th position. Despite that earlier off, Lincoln Fox has gotten closer to Ryan Carwile now, bringing Colin Lounsbury with. Fox trying to take a distinctly different line through Lamore Corner. Doing quite well to be close off the corner. Heading onto the Ullman Straight, getting even closer again. And breaking out of the throttle. Just serves to give Colin Lounsbury a double draft, and they're all nose to tail heading into Sunset for 4th, 5th, and 6th. I'm not convinced that line's the one for Lincoln Fox. Running a little wide through Sunset.
Yeah, it's been struggling with that a little bit. Seems to do well on the rest of the track, though. Closes down the space a lot on the way. Got Lincoln Fox having closed down the gap right back onto Ryan Carwell's rear bumper. For those keeping score without the timing screen open, we've got Jared Collins at the front, 10 seconds ahead of Kyle Robertson in second, 14 seconds ahead Kyle Woods in third. This battle is about 27 seconds behind the leader.
On the Ullman Straight, again, with Ryan Carwile, Lincoln Fox, and Colin Lounsbury. All three of them took about 15 seconds of fuel at their pit stop. So with that as a baseline, Jared Collins took 16. Kyle Robertson took about 14. And Bill Woods took 17, per the numbers that I see. So Bill Woods should be in a good position with that. Still remains about 4 seconds behind Kyle Robertson, who's now 11 seconds behind that race leading Jared Collins. As it continues to get darker, my favorite feature of turn 4 here at Sebring, those campers with their illuminated palm trees. Brings you got an illuminated tree inside your house, Devon?
Got an illuminated tree, got it all lit up and flashing in the basement.
I watched a video about the feng shui principles of Christmas trees.
I am terrified that that's even a possible thing.
Basically, the feng shui principles of a Christmas tree are the opposite of a toilet, right? You don't want to be sitting on the couch in the living area and see a toilet. At the same time, you shouldn't hide away a Christmas tree so that it doesn't bring the warmth and good energy into the living areas.
Makes sense, I guess. I'm picturing my toilet where the Christmas tree is placed now.
Are you picturing the Christmas tree where your toilet is?
Also entertaining. The parole on the wall, Filipino adornment for Christmas, also a feature in our household. Not quite as international as the GT86, but, you know, almost all the way there.
So it'll be 7 or 8 laps to go for the race leader, Jared Collins. His lead's come down from 11 seconds to 8 as he had a slightly scruffy last lap, and there's more positions up for grabs throughout the rest of the field, including Ryan Carwile, Lincoln Fox, who runs almost into the wall with Colin Lounsbury on the inside of Sunset Bend. You've also got Nick Love trying to come back through the field, fighting Cameron Sennhauser and Simon Foweather into Sunset Bend. I think that's Foweather had the snappy moment on the way in. Now it's Sennhauser who gets to the inside of Nick Love onto the front straight. Great three-way fight amongst these three. I still think Nick Love is placed best, but that's Cameron Sennhauser with his nose in front and plenty of momentum. Simon Foweather picking up the slipstream as well. And you've had your pit stops. You can battle like this now, I reckon.
Yeah, things are all of a sudden getting spicy all over the track. We checked away from that battle at the front, and it's busy, but Cameron Sennhauser is keeping it busier here. It's just barely ahead of Nick Love and sliding that car all over the place. Boy, it's close. Woo. Nick Love gets two in the dirt and, or watches, rather, Cameron Sennhauser get two in the dirt, and Simon Foweather has a run. He's going to try and pass all of them. Go all the way to the front here. Oh, and there's a little bit of contact. Woo. And they all
two
have
cars
to
off in the grass at turn 7. It's Cameron Sennhauser and Simon Foweather. Nick Love didn't want to drive into him, and he lost a fair bit of time there as well. Ian Giebler's not too far behind, and he's lapping quickly at the moment as well.
Yeah, it's they're busy out there right now.
Carwile, Lounsbury, Fox. A little bit more lap traffic going on. Michael Thorne again, I think.
Yeah, coming past Mike Thorne, trying to find their way. Lounsbury will benefit a little bit from the draft here. And the headlights are on. Cutting through the fog. It's a proper Christmas night race out there. Lounsbury's going to get by to the apex, but Lincoln Fox might have to take a little evasive action. The wide line here on the exit, just a struggle for Fox.
So tight line, minimum bump seems to be the way to go through Sunset Bend. And we're going to have Sennhauser and Love side by side again. Foweather with all of the slipstream to pick and choose from. He'll have more speed down towards turn 1. He'll have more speed through turn 1 as they stay side by side in front of him.
Wide line works through there, and Nick Love's going to have the advantage in the braking zone. Holds it on the outside, makes it work. And from worst to first in this little battle pack is Cameron Sennhauser, lap over lap. Or sorry, Nick Love, lap over lap. Simon Foweather is going to try and make a move, but they got John Nicholford up the inside here, trying to stay out of the way. And it's going to be single file. Oh, through there almost. And Simon Foweather slams the door on Nicholford. Nicholford really had nowhere to go. And Foweather ends up facing the wrong way. Tough. You're trying to do the right thing as the back marker, but don't want to stop it on track either. Three-way battle goes to 2. And Ryan Carwile and Colin Lounsbury are still going at it. Lincoln Fox has a moment out in the dirt there. Those were his headlights, pointing all kinds of which ways.
Getting easy to calculate. I think we are definitely 5 laps to go from here when these cars cross the start-finish line. Race leader Jared Collins obviously already has a little bit up the road. So you hold that white flag for 4 laps time, mister, at the start-finish line.
Yeah, we'll see. I think you got the math right on that one. I'm not going to have a calamity today. It's a long track here at Sebring, in addition to a lot of wide open throttle time.
There's 2 measurements that I've seen for the track length here. And I've seen it in slightly different places. So some say that it's 3.7 miles exactly, and some say that it's 3.741 miles. And I'm more willing to believe the one with more digits as being slightly more accurate, and 3.7 being sort of a rounded estimate.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's pretty close though. Not that many feet different.
Road America is more like 4 miles, and then you've got a lot of courses that are in that sort of 2.5 mile size, like Mid-Ohio, Road Atlanta, others like that.
Following along with Carwell and Co. again. They've all managed to get back together.
Yeah, Lincoln Fox with some work to do again. Remember, had that 4th place on the in-lap, had the mistake through Sunset Bend, dropped behind Carwell, dropped behind Lounsbury. So tried to show some pace in the end of the previous stint, now coming towards the end of this stint. Similar line, again, similar philosophy for Le Mans Bend for Fox.
Positively dark out there now. Headlights not only helping, they're necessary.
It's a good track for some night racing though, because there's a bit of light around, and there's also lots of reflectors. Fox down the inside of Sunset Bend. Oh, runs it a little wide. Runs it a little wide indeed. Colin Lounsbury gets back down the inside, and they're side by side. Ryan Carwell probably pretty happy to see this in his mirrors from 4th place, to be honest.
Yeah. Ooh, and a tight move there by Lincoln Fox. Just cuts it off. Takes the line into turn number 1.
Oh, there's my palm trees looking bright in the night. We saw the real palm trees getting blown in the breeze earlier. So this is TJ Yankee and Dennis Nickel at turn 7, and Dennis Nickel misses his braking zone, and he does not miss the rear bumper, and they have a very synchronized left turn to get back on the racetrack. So I mean, that happens, unfortunately, but I think it could have been a lot worse. You come in with more speed and you T-bone them or something.
Yeah, no harm, no foul. We're joining Ray Lombardi here all alone and doing a little bit of driving here. Has a little moment though, catches the curb, gets it bouncing, facing the wrong way, and suddenly we're going to see him come out of here and be in a bit of a battle. Those headlights behind him, that's Nick Love, and the two of them are going to be real close together on track now for the final few minutes.
Yeah, Nick Love's ahead now as well. So if you get a slide, if you've got a slide going into these corners and then you hit the curb or you hit the dirt, that's where you really get in trouble. When you've already got something going on and then you're off balance and you get hit again, sort of thing, when the car's sliding and then you get a bit of curb or a bit of dirt.
Yeah, it's a car that teaches you to behave well. Oh, they're getting all the way down to the pit wall here. Ryan Carwell says, I really want the inside line. Lincoln Fox, though, seems to have the run and the draft. Going to try and make the outside line work. It's a real outside line. Wow-wee.
I think the cutback rather than just playing around the outside is a good way to go, because there's so much speed now for Lincoln Fox that the inside becomes the outside and carrying that momentum towards fourth place With 3 laps to go, the inside of turn 1 now for Lincoln Fox. Straight back across to the full racing line. They're using the racetrack and then some now.
Nicely timed there by Lincoln. Dodges the outside wall, dodges the inside wall narrowly. This is some precise driving at this point.
It is. It's got to remain precise because it gets more difficult in the darkness. What you do see when you're in line with the drivers is how many reflectors there are, like you might be used to on the highway or a dark country road. So when you're looking parallel to the cars, you don't see a whole lot of them. But from the driver's perspective, with the headlights, all lit up, so you can know your placing pretty well, and then it's a matter of finding your braking zones and a few of the other little markers around.
Yeah, track markers always more important when the weather is bad and the track is dark. Seeing that here. Good old school endurance track here. You know, it's just a country road out in the middle of nowhere, basically.
Airfield access roads and runways and parking aprons.
Bumpy and unkempt, all the good stuff.
That's on my Tinder profile.
Following along here from the perspective of Ryan Carwell for a moment there.
But now Fox is wide through Lamar corner, one that he'd been nailing on the previous attempts, puts him under an immense amount of pressure from Ryan Carwell, whose decision is to go to the right-hand side of the road. See these tall gears we're talking about, only just getting into 5th gear. Same for Colin Lounsbury, watching from behind, heading down towards Sunset Bend. Long hairpin, bridge over the road, and Fox is just going to let a little bit of that happen. Lounsbury might have been turning in a little early, a little bit too tight. 2 of them run up into the wall. Lounsbury followed Lincoln Fox and went in a little bit harder. Fox has brushed it off, but Lounsbury had a bit of a hit.
Yeah, you might have heard it from the onboard. The 2 of them just crunching mirrors behind. Oh, and Lincoln Fox. Oh, that's tight. Makes it work. Holds it down to the inside. Carwell's got to take the inside line. And it's going to be tight here going into turn 3. But luckily, Lincoln Fox gets the right-hander, gets back to the lead, and manages to make that pass stick.
And then runs it wide off of turn 5. So they're all over the road here in this battle for 4th and 5th and 6th.
2 laps to go. They're making it count.
I think they're far enough away from Sean Roberts in 7th. They're not going to catch Bill Woods in 3rd. The podium's been pretty split since the pit stops. But these guys have been inseparable.
Yeah, they're not going to make it easy to finish in 4th place today. Well, the guy making it look easy today is Jared Collins.
It looks like he's just missing the fastest lap of the race that belongs to Kyle Robertson, but he's had nearly every other accolade. It'll be most laps led. It's a nice lead for Jared Collins. Things that Kyle Robertson has had is the pole position and the fastest lap of the race. So that 1-lap pace for Kyle Robertson's been good in both of the competitive sessions we've had today. But for Jared Collins, his racecraft and his consistency and maybe picking his line through Sunset Bend has been to his advantage. With a minute left on the clock, the starter will be waving the white flag for 3.7, maybe a little bit of change, miles of Sebring left to go in this race and in the ChampCar iRacing Series season for 2024. Jared Collins can win this race. Kyle Robertson and Bill Woods can stand on the podium, but none of them will be able to take the championship away from 5-time race winner Cameron Martineau.
They're pushing hard, though. Lincoln Fox leads this time in that battle pack. Fourth place has a little bit of a gap now back to Ryan Carwile. And it's just poured it on since the tower turn. Growing the gap, growing the gap. See if he's able to make it stick.
I wonder if there's a few drivers inside of the top 10 that have seen that white flag and go, ooh, maybe I need to save a little bit. Lincoln Fox is pushing on tremendously, again, kicking up dirt in turn 5. I've done that. Very luckily got away with it all. Ryan Carwile still within 1 second, and they've dropped Colin Lounsbury a tiny bit. That top 10 at the moment still completed by Sean Roberts, Nick Love, Cameron Sennhauser, and Orlando Harrell in 10th. It's just ahead of Ian Giebler. Lincoln Fox again, moving a little bit of dirt, doing some earthworks for Sebring International Raceway, trying to stay ahead of Ryan Carwile. On the final lap here, the driver is heading towards the checkered flag first. Started on the front row, Jared Collins. Underneath the bridge, the access to the paddock and to the power for the final time to the start-finish line, already celebrating from Sunset Bend to the finish line and the fireworks at Sebring. Jared Collins puts a crown on the end of a season of ChampCar iRacing series. Kyle Robertson here in second. Lap down car behind him for Bill Woods in third, and then Lincoln Fox has Ryan Carwile at his rear bumper through Sunset Bend on the final lap.
And you can hear the fireworks going off in the background, but the fog's obscuring them today.
Other drivers taking the checkered flag right now. Colin Lounsbury in 6th. Sean Roberts in 7th will be the biggest gainer of the race. Started 20th on the grid, finishes it in 7th. And then Nick Love in 8th. A few more battles. Giebler's gotten ahead of Orlando Harrell on this final lap here to get back inside of the top 10.
Couple more cars crossing the line. We got Sean Roberts hitting it. That is, who do we got? That was Andy Cossack just crossed the line. Now we got Tim Trahan coming up across it. Bunch of drivers finishing under the depths tonight. We got Logan Sennhauser in a bit of a battle with Tim Wire. They come to the line, they touch a little bit, but it's going to be Logan Sennhauser at the line. That's for 5th, 16th, and 17th. Next up, we got Dan Ball crossing the line, 18th place. 2 more cars on the lead lap. Scott Grinnell coming to the line last time through the Sunset Bend and enjoying himself one more time. Gonna cross on the lead lap, and the final car on the lead lap tonight will be behind that. That's Mark Kruger, who's gonna cross under the bridge and then over the line, closing out an excellent race and an excellent season with the ChampCar iRacing series.
Got all the Drive Trainer Motorsports guys doing the kind of shenaniganry that they get up to. So that's after turn 5 towards turn 6. I don't know, maybe they got some friends camping there. That's everyone to the finish line. Jared Collins wins. Kyle Robertson had the pole position, but not the pace in the race. Bill Woods joins them on the podium. Lincoln Fox with a race-long battle with Ryan Carwile, it seemed like, triumphant for 4th ahead of 5th position. And then Colin Lounsbury is in 6th from Sean Roberts, Nick Love, Cameron Sennhauser, and Ian Giebler. Yes, Orlando Harrell in 11th. Ray Lombardi, Kyle Lockrow, Andy Cossack, Tim Trahan, Logan Sennhauser, Tim Wire, Dan Ball, Scott Grinnell, and Mark Kruger. It's the last driver on the lead lap. I put to you it's likely that Andre Jameson in 21st dropped back a little bit to be the lap down and finish the race just behind his teammate Kyle Robertson, who was in second. Same for TJ Yankee there, also on Drive Trainer Motorsports, finishing 22nd and just behind their teammate the lap up. Then Michael Thorne, Brian Tidd, Dennis Nickel, John Nicholford, Simon Foweather, and Donald McLaughlin as our 28 Toyota GR86s for the ChampCar iRacing Series season finale from Sebring. We've got just about everyone that we could want to speak to at this point, Devon, including race winner Jared Collins.
Yeah, I'm here with Jared Collins. An impressive victory there, Collins. You took the lead early, and you never quit leading. Well done today out there, Collins.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It seemed like you're at home out on the track today. You've done a few laps around here, I take it.
Yeah, I prepped quite a bit. I think me and Ian were fighting for best of the rest, so I put in quite a few laps before today's race.
And that's what I was going to say. I believe that this
I did because I think it paid off.
It absolutely did today. I was going to say, I believe that not only did you lock up second place in the championship, that's your first win of the season. Am I right?
It is. Yeah, it absolutely is. So great way to end the year on a high note and get some momentum, hopefully into the 2025 season. But yeah, I'm ecstatic to get my first win.
Nicely done, buddy. And yeah, congratulations on the first win overall. You and Giebler putting Cameron on notice for next season, eh?
100%. Hopefully we can take it to him next year.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, congratulations on the big win today and on the excellent performance. You got any racing plans coming up here?
It looks like we're gonna try and build a TSX for next year. So hopefully we can get it put together. We're gonna try a new build and see if we can pick up some time with the new build. So hopefully we get it done in time to run Autobahn. If not, hopefully for sure Road America next year.
Sounds good. Looking forward to seeing you. Looking forward to seeing you out on the real track too.
Excellent. Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
There we go, our race winner, but not able to race today, but able to join us for a chat. 2024 ChampCar iRacing Series season-long champion. Congratulations on the race wins across the year, multiple different models of car, and you are season champion, Cameron.
It's official now. Wow. Thanks, guys. Wow. I can't believe it. This is awesome. I can't even describe like the feeling, to be honest with you guys. I mean, I wish I was out there tonight. I was actually just telling Kyle and the guys there that, I'm at PRI right now and we have all the sim rigs, but can't use them. So I wish I could have finished tonight with on track, but I'm ecstatic about just being able to, do sim racing and have it turn into something in IRL. So I had such a great year. Had a lot of fun racing Joshua and Paul and DJ and everyone in the ChampCar iRacing series. It's been awesome.
Absolutely. And one of the key things I think was you were successful across a couple of the different models of car. So, for example, there were drivers like Ian Giebler's win came in the Renault Clio, but you were successful different models, and that adaptability seems pretty key as well to this championship.
Yeah, definitely. That's something that I try to do normally, and just iRacing official races. I think being able to jump into a different car each time different driving styles and try to adapt. And it really just broadens your horizons to how you can make speed in different cars. And it really paid off in this championship, especially. And I'm sure, you know, it pays off at IRL as well, just having that adaptability. So it was a lot of fun, and I just like driving a lot of these different cars. They're so much fun to throw around, and they have their different quirks, and they all race really well.
Yeah, I was just looking at the stats here for you. It was 5 race wins, but in 4 cars, the only one you doubled up was the Mazda MX-5.
Yeah, which I would even say is arguably like one of my weakest cars. So I really like the GR86, and I like the Mustang, but the Miata is so much fun. So definitely, yeah, I think definitely having that adaptability was key this year.
Well, a big congratulations to you, because it is a long season for the ChampCar iRacing series. You have stuck with us for the most part. You're the season champion. I'm sure we'll be seeing and hearing a little more of you in 2025.
Absolutely, and thank you, David and Devin, for commentating us all year and putting this whole entire event on. I mean, part of the reason attracted to it was trying to the prospect of trying to meet new people and network within IRL racing, and I ended up finding a great league, and it was a ton of fun and great people. So I can't wait for 2025 to hopefully meet most competitors IRL and share the iRacing track with them again next year.
Fantastic. And I'm sure as the year comes to a close, you've got many people and things to be thankful for, and you might want to rattle some off now.
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, I'll say thank you guys for putting this on. Big thanks to all the competitors for racing clean all season and putting on a great show. And I just want to say big thanks to, I guess, a lot of my supporters and a lot of the people that have gotten me here. Sim Racing, my friends, my family, Samantha Tan, and the entire Samantha Tan racing team for Sim Racing, and all my teammates and friends, and I'm just really thankful for 2024 and all the opportunities I got this year. So thanks, guys, and can't believe 2024 champion. It's a great feeling.
Fantastic. And have yourself a very happy new year. And we'll see you in 2025, Cameron.
Yeah, thank you, guys. You as well. Take care.
It's nice of you to be able to phone in from Indianapolis and chat with us after the year that Cameron Martineau has had. We've got one more driver from the podium today, Devin.
Yeah, we got Kyle Robertson joining us here. A tough race, well fought, but ultimately not able to chase down Jared Collins, were you?
Yeah. I didn't respect the bumps as much as I should have. In addition to this car also pogo sticking, it was just a cavalcade of mistakes on my end. But it was still an enjoyable race. I don't know if you guys caught when I almost spun at the hairpin, but yeah, no, it was a fun time. Kudos to Jared. He was blindingly quick. I was just talking to him saying I need to try and figure out a way to pick up those extra tenths because I was just by myself after that.
Oh, we just heard that Cameron Martineau is making a return next year, so you two are going to have to get to practicing.
Oh man, that's fun. Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, definitely going to have to improve now. Keep up with Cameron.
Absolutely. Home track for you.
Yeah. This track means a lot to me. This one in Daytona, I really try to do my best at these tracks, and I feel like I have some kind of streak where I keep coming in second at the end, the last race of the season here. I know I came in second to Josh, I think a year or two ago. I just got to try and close the deal somehow.
Well, all in all, a good day and a good season for the Drive Trainer Motorsports guys. Were we right that you guys all backed off there at the end so you could have a nice team photo across the line?
Let's say that, yeah. Just I think Andre was having a little mistake there, and we kind of just happened to all end up on the same real estate there. And yeah, the last lap I was like, let's just bring it home. Get a nice little picture here. But no, it was definitely a great season for us, and we really love this league. Definitely looking forward to we're actually going to be at the real life race coming up at the end of the month here too. So
nice. Well, hey, you put in the practice now. I bet you you'll go out there and you'll shine on the real track.
Fingers crossed.
Sounds good. Well, congratulations on a great race and a great season.
Thank you guys for everything. Love the broadcast and looking forward to racing you again next season.
Cheers.
Well, after more than 24 hours of sim racing in the ChampCar iRacing series for 2024, we've almost crowned every winner and given away every prize this season. We have the 2000 Champ Box to the full season winner that we now know is Cameron Martineau. We've also drawn 2 random prizes from drivers who did all 4 races in spring, all 4 races in summer. We've also had all of our 4 team endurance race prizes. The one left is the drivers who did all 4 fall races. And the names on that to be drawn are Ian Giebler, Tim Wire, Orlando Herrell, Andrew Cosick, Logan Senhauser, John Nicholford, Brian Tidd. And so, for the final time in 2024, and for the final prize, it's time to spin the wheel and see who'll be going into the new year with 250 Champ Bucks to put towards their ChampCar Endurance Series racing in the coming year. It looks like we have a first-time winner, and it's going to go to Brian Tidd. Congratulations, Brian. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We extend that to all of you watching the ChampCar iRacing series on HJBC and ChampCar Live. The sun sets on Sebring and on iRacing for 2024. Jared Collins with the win, Cameron Martineau with the championship. I've been David Haynes with Devin Peters and Michael Derby. It's been our pleasure to bring you live coverage of the racing and also to officiate and organise the league. And from Sebring, we say goodbye.